Speaking of Holy Toledo, Harry Enton on Trump's pre-State of the Union polling lows.
For us. Harry, what's your take with what you're looking at on how people are feeling about how Trump is doing in this moment?
Yeah, okay. I would borrow the phrasing of Tony Blair, of course, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, saying weak, weak, weak. It was weak over there in the United Kingdom. It is weak here in the United States when it comes to President Trump. Okay, Trump's net approval rating. Look at all the pre-SOTU polls, the SOTU State of the Union. Look at this. Okay, we're at this point. Look at that. Negative 27 points. My goodness gracious, the snow is up to the knees here in New York City, and Trump seems to be well underneath it at this point. Compare that to where he was in 2020, 2019, and 2018 in term one going into those State of the Unions. Minus 10, way lower now. Minus 15, way lower now. Minus 15, way lower now. The bottom line is this. Donald Trump has never been weaker going into a State of the Union address, according to our CNN polling, than he is right now, and weaker by a considerable amount.
So this is his first term to his...
Dude, I'm shocked. I thought he was the best president of all time. Why does he suck so much dick? He's saving America. You simpletons don't understand. By the way,
shows 60%.
Fox News is covering it too, which is awesome. Let's take a look at the Fox News coverage before we get back to Harry Emden.
Right, a new poll shows 60% disapproval of Trump, and this is just ahead of his State of the Union address, which is tomorrow. Guy Benson joining me now. Guy, what does he have to say tomorrow to swing voters kind of in his favor?
Well, okay. Let's Google it, because this doesn't matter, right? Trump approval ratings Israel, right? Like, because obviously it doesn't really matter what his approval ratings in America is. What matters is what his approval ratings in Israel are. Trump, one of the best U.S. presidents for Israel, majority of Israelis say. According to the index findings,
Holy Toledo.
73% of Israelis rate Trump as better than average U.S. president in terms of Israel's interests, with 49% describing him as one of the best in the history for Israel. Nearly 3/4 of Israelis say that U.S. President Donald Trump's policy on Israel is better than average, according to the Jewish People's Policy Institute. According to the index's findings, 73% of Israelis rate Trump as better than average, with 49% describing him as one of the best. Dude, what can someone do for Israelis to just say 100% like best president? I think Israel is one of the most selfish, arrogant countries on the planet. He is so much better to Israel than he is to us, dog. And they still are not. I mean, these approval ratings are very good. But like, what more could he do for Israel? Now I'm mad on his behalf. Now I'm fucking mad on his behalf. Yeah, Israelis prefer Trump to Kamala 58-25, and leftists think they're helping the Palestinians by pretending there's no difference. This guy's a fucking idiot. Who gives a shit that the Israelis like Trump more? Israelis are fucking stupid about Biden. Biden also gave Israel everything, and Benjamin Netanyahu still called him a pussy-ass bitch. Poll shows Israelis massively favor Trump over Harris in U.S. election.
Holy Toledo.
Gotta let Israelis vote in the elections. Why would you let Israelis vote in the elections? Whoever is president is the president for Israel anyway. You don't ever have to vote in the American elections if the American president is going to be serving your interests no matter what. This way, you get to have, aesthetic differences of opinion. Like, oh, Kamala's too woke. Anyway, now that we know the real approval rating, the one that matters, let's get back to the fucking fake American approval rating of Donald Trump.
I think it's going to be a hard thing to do just because, as we've seen in recent years, it's kind of a self-selecting pool that watches these things at this point. So he'll have a lot of his own supporters tuned in. So I'd imagine to some extent it'll be preaching to the choir. There are people who are curious or barely follow politics who will get at least bits and pieces of it. That's the key audience, politically speaking, because you and I have said this before, we'll probably keep talking about it for months. when people start to feel a better economy, things could start getting better for the Republican Party. Unless and until that happens, it's going to be tough sledding like this, pun intended with the blizzard in New York, because President Trump needs to not just tell people that things are getting better, they need to understand it on a very personal level. Now,
do you think more or less disapprove of Trump? Dog, we're literally looking at... Look. Like, what are you saying? Look at this screen. What do you think poll 60% disapprove of Trump ahead of address means? Yeah, you got it. Like 60% not majority. Huh? %60 not majority. You said fake, bruh. Open the schools. Open the schools, dude.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
one thing.
What the fuck are you
Second
saying?
term. How does it compare to other presidents at this point in their second term, though?
Yeah, okay. It's not just that Donald Trump is breaking records compared to himself when it comes to State of the Unions. He's breaking records compared to other presidents at this point going into a State of the Union. What are we talking about? Look at all the 21st century presidents on your screen right here. About at this point in the second term going into the State of the Union. Trump at minus 27 points. Obama was at minus 15 points. George W. Bush was at minus 11 points. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that minus 27 points is considerably lower than minus 15 or minus 11. So Trump isn't just weaker than he's ever been going into a State of the Union address. He is weaker than any other president this century going into a State of the Union address at this point in their second term.
You're talking about it all throughout the show as we're going through these numbers, but talk about what is driving this drop for the president.
What?
Did that chatter not understand that I was making a joke when I said the American approval ratings for the American president is actually inconsequential? The real approval ratings that matter is the Israeli approval ratings, which is a joke about how Donald Trump is more of a servant of Israel than he is a servant of America. Is that what happened there? Like, you did not understand that I was very clearly making a joke? Or do you just don't understand that like 60% is majority? Yes, I struggle with sarcasm.
Holy Toledo. What is driving this drop? I said record was the name of the game when it came to this segment, right? Talking about the lowest Trump has ever been going into the State of the Union, the lowest that any president has been this century going into a State of the Union at this point in their presidency. It is also the weakest that Donald Trump has ever been with independents. Look at this drop. We've been talking about it the past few months. At this point, a year ago, Donald Trump was at minus 13 points. Look at this. Minus 47.
Do you think Trump will move to Israel to avoid his monthly assassination attempts? That's so funny. Every other week. Well, until it gets to a weekly basis, he's fine here, I think. It's always a Trump supporter, too. It makes it so much funnier. It's literally just Trump supporters. Oh, man.
Points among independents, the lowest Donald Trump has ever been in either of his two terms as president with independents. That is driving these numbers. When you're 47 points underwater with independents, that's the name of the game. You can't be above water overall, and that's why Donald Trump is near record lows overall and the lowest he's ever been going into a State of the Union address.
We have a new CNN poll out this morning with President Trump's approval rating at 36%. That's lower than President Biden was at this point 4 years ago, and it's down 12 percentage points since a year ago, just last February. Just 32% of Americans say the president is focused on the right priorities. 68% Nearly 7 in 10 Americans say he is focused on the wrong things.
Chat, is this
morning,
good?
The president had this to say about tomorrow's address.
Chat, is that
Greatest
good?
economy we've ever had. We have the most activity we've ever had. I'm making a speech tomorrow night, and you'll be hearing me say that. I mean, it's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
I'm joined by a terrific group of reporters. Kristen, I'm going to start with you. And
Okay. Get away.
we just showed the overall approval rating, but the story is deep in the poll with a couple of, actually several.
What's the Dow at? That's the real question. Because if it's over 50, he's good. If it's over 50K, he's good. If he's 49K, he's fucked. Okay? He's fucked. Everybody remembers that the Trump admin is protecting pedophiles when the Dow drops beneath 50K. Trump's approval ratings being nearly identical among Black and Latino adults is absolutely astounding. Oh my God, the biggest drop off from the Latino voters is crazy. Do you think them being Trump supporters has anything to do with them fucking up the attempts? Yeah, obviously they're fucking incompetent. They're Trump voters.
Of the key demographics. I'm going to start with independence. This is one of the most remarkable stories.
Oh yeah, he's fucking the crypto bros too. I'm honestly sick and tired of Trump. Nobody is winning, Joshua Jake says, as Bitcoin dips below 65. Not the pedophilia, not the cannibals, not the child murder to cover up crimes. No longer backing your cult leader, Trump, because your fake pedo coin went down another 4%. This is the real Dow that these guys look at.
If you look at where the president was in January of 2021, this is January 6th, the attack on the Capitol, this is in the middle of COVID, 32%. Now he's at 26% among independents, which means only a quarter of independents in the United States of America.
Bro, Trump is really causing a fissure in American society, which I'm here for, to be honest, where genuinely the only people that are holding this thing together is just lifelong Republicans, like hardcore MAGA, and they're so gone. And I feel like it's going to get to a point where everyone is just like, oh, are you MAGA? I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Like, you're going to have like independents that have voted for the Republican Party, like with regular frequency, just genuinely despise the Republican brand forever because of Donald Trump. It's not going to be because the Democrats are doing anything good, mind you. It's just getting to a point where like everyone's like, oh, you like Trump? I hope you kill yourself. And it's just basically like the Trump cult and then everybody else in the country. It's also exceptional to take note of the fact that people still don't fuck with the Democrats, okay? Like, they hate Donald Trump, but that doesn't mean that they like the Democratic Party. People said that about the Bush admin, yet here we are, brother. After the Bush admin, America voted for a Muslim Kenyan communist by the name of Barack Hussein Obama. What are you talking about? Hello? Like, yeah, what happened after George W. Bush? Now, the fumble came after because turns out he's not Muslim, nor is he communist, which is really shitty, right? Like, I wish if he was a Muslim Kenyan communist, he probably would have fucking moved this country in a much better direction. But like, you're forgetting that Barack Hussein Obama was spectacularly popular. It took 8 years for people to be like, this shit sucks. Nothing changed. Things are awful. Obama was right-wing then and right-wing now. No, dog. When he was fucking running for president, he wasn't exactly seen as like, you know, again, he's black. And also his middle name is Hussein. Okay? People think Kamala Harris is the most woke libtard on the planet. What are you talking about?
And pussy too.
Nobody cares about your assessment. We're talking about the average American, okay? The median voter. The median voter was like, we're voting for the Muslim Kenyan communist. Who is?
I'm gay and Lebanese.
Yeah. A whopping 64% say both Trump and the Democrats are both out of touch, showing the strong anti-establishment mood has not subsided. Fire as fuck fear and preview
Punch
this week.
is a monkey.
His name is Punch?
Yes.
That's kind of
asking for it.
This monkey was born into captivity and his mother abandoned him. And he was given a plushie toy. And the
No
other
one will hang
monkeys
out with him.
in the enclosure beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
No.
First of all, I don't endorse bullying. Unless I look at some of these people that have rose to power like Stephen Miller, and I said if he would have been punched a few times when he was a kid.
He's an orphan monkey! What are we talking about? Do you think this monkey is the next, like, what are you
Maybe
talking
this monkey would have grown up to be a right-wing incel, and maybe this is what
I like where you went with that. It was bold.
We need to bring back bullying so that we don't raise Nazis.
We are going to fry Austin over this. Oh, if you haven't watched the episode, you're going to fry me for this too. I made a lot of punch jokes.
Approve of the job that he is doing.
Yeah, and he's very aware of that. Now, of course, I don't think any of us are surprised that he's going to be giving a long speech tomorrow. Long in his terms, though. I mean, that seems like it might be really, really long.
I think it was 90 minutes before.
Right. I mean, if he's calling it long, it might be a little bit of a doozy. But, you know, when it comes to independence, when it comes to the job that he's doing, there is a lot of frustration inside of the White House. It's not as though he is not seeing these polls. We know that he is reliant on these polls. We know that he is seeing polls on a regular basis from his own in-house pollsters, and that's why you're hearing a lot more frustration when it comes to the president, when you're hearing him give these speeches saying essentially,
Hassan knocked me out in a gay bar once. Yeah, with my penis.
even just now in this event that he was doing with these angel families, talking about how the media never gives him good coverage. He never gets credit for anything that he's doing. He believes that this is the media's fault, that this is his own PR's fault, and that's the reason that he's not getting the credit, and that's why the polls are bad, not because of what he is focused on.
It's because how people feel out there. Mm-hmm. And you obviously every day talk to people who are on the ballot in just a few months.
Yeah, and can he actually, I know the answer to this question, but I'll just ask it anyways. Can he actually show some empathy to what the American public is feeling right now, which is not, everything is so great, the economy is amazing, this is the best ever, and trying to cheerlead his way into convincing Americans that they're not feeling how they're feeling? Can he move in a direction saying, look,
he's just going to do the pocket sand move, which for him is immigrant crime, right? He's going to be like, look at these angel families. They're so happy. They're so happy that we are occupying. What? Hello? What's happening? What's going on? Kaya, get out of there. Oh my God. Kaya, please. Yeah, he's going to do a Lake and Riley repeat. He's going to be like, aren't you so excited? I've invaded American cities. I've invaded American cities with my Gestapo. Don't you feel wonderful? Look, this, what do they call him? Angel Mom is so happy that I'm killing Americans. Like, that's what's going to happen.
we understand there's pain right now that people are feeling. We are working on it to deal with it.
What does that sound? What do you mean? It's my place emote. There's a real button on my desk that I press now to electrocute my dog. Since people were wondering, and it seems like people love that I'm electrocuting my dog, as we have reached new levels of prominence that we had never reached before with 46,000 people watching. The bots are back, chat. Getting botted again. Pigs hate the joy of snowball fights. She really does look like rotisserie chicken. I can't get over it. Hi. Wait. When will you be showing Kaya snow? Oh, man. I really got to do that. This is Wiley. He's never seen snow before and wants to make sure he gets a really good look at it for science. Aw. Aw. North Korea saw your apology? Yeah, they're botting me now. North Korea is botting me because they saw my apology.
X, be very specific. We're dealing with X, we're dealing with Y, we're dealing with Z. That's not really in Donald Trump's DNA. So I think we can expect him to try to convince a very skeptical American public. Like tomorrow is going to be probably his biggest audience he's going to have before the midterm elections, and his opportunity to try to reset some Americans' perceptions of how the job that he is doing in office. But this midterm is going to be a referendum on him, which is why those numbers are freaking out Republicans who are going to be on the ballot in November.
Yeah, I mean, independents are, not only the swing voters, but they are the
Look at her tail,
sort of telltale sign of where things are headed with regard to the next time there's a major election. And it's really, really bad for Republicans. The Latino vote, this is another stunning change for the president. This is 1 year ago. If you look up on the screen, 1 year ago, February of 2025, 41% with Latinos. Now it has literally plummeted to 22% approval rating among Latino voters.
Yeah, and that was really one of the big questions from the 2024 election, was whether the support that the president had gotten from Latino voters will hold. We started to see some cracks in that coalition, thinking back to the New Jersey governor's race, where Mikey Sherrill made up a lot of ground with the Latino voters who had shifted towards President Donald Trump. But there's frustration within the Latino community about those same issues troubling everyone, cost of living and the economy, but also the approach to immigration. And so it'll be interesting to see if there is any way for Trump to kind of gain that type of ground back, but also what it means for other Republicans. I'm thinking about all those districts down in Texas, where you have large Latino populations that they felt were shifting towards Republicans. That may not exactly be the case in the next midterm election.
And Emily, I know you're seeing some of this already play out in the special election in Georgia to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was down there last week, and this is a group of people who are reliably conservative, who helped send Trump to the White House twice, but they're also independently minded. So they don't like being told what to do. They don't just listen to the president based on.
I'm going to have James Tallarico on the broadcast, by the way. Speaking of Texas, Tejas. Before March 3rd. Oh, God, I have hair everywhere. Why are people botting you? I don't fucking know, dude.
What he says now that he is in the government, which this group of people is very skeptical of. And so you see one of the main issues that is resonating with those folks is still immigration. And so the White House feels pressure, I think, responsive to that base, responsive to others like them to keep hammering that issue home. But then it is alienating some of these other voters who you talked about. So it's like a delicate dance.
It's remarkable. Sorry, just on the polling about how the demographic groups, he's really underwater with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's struggling with Latinos.
Then you have to have Jasmine Crockett on too. I mean, I'd be down, but I don't think she'd be down to come on. Let's be real. Is Jasmine Crockett coming on too? Again, I'd be down to have both of them on. I just don't think that Jasmine Crockett would want to come on. Address the view by allegations, man. Brother, what the fuck do you think is going on? You think at 7 hours into my stream, I magically have 130,000 viewers? Are you stupid? Yeah, someone's fucking view botting me. Austin just said, yeah, it's me. Like, what do you think is going on, chatter? What do you think is happening? Nah, there's a real uptick. There's a real uptick in interest in Trump's approval ratings leading up to the State of the Union.
Black voters, where he made gains with the black voters, at least did better than the previous cycle. He is really struggling with black voters, with younger voters. It's just across the board, which is what's so stunning about
Sorry, no jokes, I forgot.
Among young voters, pretty much
I'm
the same
joking too.
Amount that he did with Latino voters. And then just looking at the issues that people want the president to talk about in his address tomorrow night. I mean, nothing even comes close to the economy and cost of living. It's really stark to look at that at the top of the screen, and foreign policy, where he has been spending a lot of his time. It barely even registers there, Kristen.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is actually the first time I'm looking at all of the columns together, and I think that's pretty stunning, the fact that the focus is the economy and the cost of living. And I think this is also where President Trump's strengths are some of his greatest weaknesses, right? One of the things that we heard from President Trump on the campaign trail was this idea that he was able to really fixate on a topic like the economy and drive home why it is that he cared so much about it and why he thought he could do a better job. This is also his detriment, because when he goes up there now, he doesn't want to talk about the economy. He doesn't want to talk about cost of living. He knows how people feel. He wants to talk about other things that he's doing, like the positives he feels he's doing when it comes to immigration. That's not what people want to hear. So the more they hear about that, the angrier.
Wow, Gavin Newsom just dropped out of the presidential race. President DJT. What? Like, this isn't a fake post. Like, this is from Taylor Populars, who's like a real journalist. Your impact. This op-ed, I kid you not, criticized China for not using its military to coerce smaller countries into doing its bidding, and specifically mocks China for having its power checked by local courts rather than just using its navy to menace weaker nations. Yeah, the post is a real post. He knows Gavin is illiterate, so he can't read this. Dude, I'm old now. I'm washed. Like 7 hours in, I get delirious.
The more frustrated they get that they're not hearing about what he's doing on the economy, he himself wants to focus on anything but where he knows people are having issues with his performance.
I just want to quickly listen to some of the comments from people who responded in this poll. Republican from Pennsylvania, Republican from Ohio, and then...
Shut the fuck up, Top G. We will never fire the first shot, but we will make sure you cannot fire the second shot. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah. Unless firing the second shot implies that you can't do trade with that country any longer. Okay, get the fuck out of here. You can't be talking this big of a game. Okay, listen. I take full ownership and responsibility over the role that I play in the Imperial Corps, in the genocide in Israel, the genocide in Gaza, in all of America's evil machinations. But you can't be talking like China is doing things when the only thing China is doing is selling labubus to Israel and also surveillance technology. Get out of here. Okay? You can't be talking like that. Yeah, China, you know what China's going to do? They're going to trade Max. Okay? Your president is a rapist pedophile, bro. I know. Is that the bar now? We're just like, well, at least the Chinese president is not that. Okay, sick. Oh shit, what did I miss? 155,000 viewers. Someone said neon raid. Aiden Ross raid.
A Democrat from Connecticut.
The cost of living, the cost of groceries, the cost of gas, it has come down a little bit, but I don't think it's come down enough.
Asmongold
I'm
raid.
retired. My wife is retired. We're on a fixed income.
I would like to see President Trump talk about the economy and cost of living because it is so difficult at this time to provide.
As a retired public school teacher who worked my entire life, I'm struggling in ways I never expected at 75 years old. Everything has become so expensive.
And that is what the president is
She's
up
reading
against
it.
in his.
She's reading it. It's fake. She's not real. She's fake. It's fake. Fucking got him. Yeah, Trump's Latino vote is cratering. Pretty convenient that the popular stop remembering how to read issue polls every time neocons and corporate centrists are on the wrong side of a popular opinion. Here's Matt Iglesias. I'm 100% sure that there are people who voted for Trump out of the mistaken belief that he would be better for Palestinians than Harris. But the question you want to ask is whether Harris, being less pro-Israel, would have won votes on net. There were two extremist pro-Israel candidates. Meanwhile, a solid majority of Americans were quickly souring on the continued aid to Israel. Trump sent nonsensical signals about being more pro-peace than clearly landed. For some unknowable reason, Harris's team decided that instead of fighting back, she should send the opposite nonsensical signals to try to outflank him with the neocons. And those also clearly landed. And now here we are, and no one has learned a fucking thing. That's it. Like, there's not really anything more to learn from the autopsy that we didn't know before the fucking election concluded. Okay? The autopsy of the Democratic Party is not being released, even though Axios has leaked one part of it, or at least like some Democrat consultants leaked a part of it to Axios. And it basically revealed what we knew already. Gaza was a big part of, or Gaza played a big role in Kamala Harris's defeat. Oh my God. How surprising. Who would have fucking thought? And, of course, the entire commentariat that kept undermining the impact of Gaza on the election are now running around making it seem as though it's actually insignificant. Sam Cedar exonerated you today with what? What'd he say? Like, it's so crazy because I'm willing to fucking bet that autopsy was the most conservative autopsy you could arrive at. Okay? And even then, it was undeniable that Israel was a major reason why people stayed at home. Or at least enough people stayed at home. And yeah, as Ted said, biggest thing Dems could do for their current position, in my opinion, is to have true moral convictions. They love to wait till the polls tell them something is confirmed. Okay, and by that time, it's too late. You should try believing in something, anything, for the first time, even at point of risk. And then, of course, Matt Iglesias comes in like the fucking asshole that he is and goes, but Joe Biden had true moral convictions about Gaza. You just disagree with them. Just as many voters disagree with Democrats' convictions on trans girls' participation in school sports teams or affirmative action in college admissions. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it. Every time I see a Matt Iglesias tweet, I understand why people built gulags, okay? I understand it. I understand it now. Prison abolition is a fleeting concept for me. Okay? What I didn't realize is we need more prisons, okay? Angela Davis be damned. Are prisons obsolete? The answer is fuck no. Okay? Turns out I actually believe in the concept of a thought crime. It's just like he is so fucking wrong all the time. He's so wrong all the time, and he's such a fucking asshole. He's such a fucking asshole about it. And I know he's got motion because he constantly dick eats billionaires. He's got motion with like the true minority, the only minority that matters, billionaires. Okay? He keeps telling them what they want to fucking hear. Just an awful, egg-shaped, demonic person. Yeah, the real POCs, people of capital, people of means, people of wealth. Those Hitler particles acting up, watch out, lol. No. No, I don't think people should be drawn and quartered for inalienable traits. This is the Stalin particles acting up. Very different. Very, very different. It's not Hitlerian particles, is Stalin-esque. Because it's like, are you getting botted again? No, I just have 158,000 viewers, man. Yes, I'm getting botted. I can't deal with this shit, man. I cannot deal with this shit.